What is good, YouTube fam? It is JP Buffett here, back with another video. In today's video, I want to take a look at two mid-tier airline cards. So if you click on this video, you would know that those cards are the American Express Delta Gold card and the JetBlue Plus card issued by Barclays. The goal of this video is to determine which of these two cards deserves a place in your wallet. So if you're interested in that video, stay tuned. So when you're taking a flight and you see the flight attendant coming up and down the aisle trying to sell you an airline card, the card that they're trying to offer is usually classified as a mid-tier airline card. This card usually costs about $99 in terms of its annual fee, and for it, you might brush it off and just want to get off of that flight, or you might be sitting there asking yourself all the way in the back, is this card worth it for me and my travels? This is the question that I've asked myself on multiple occasions. So mid-tier airline cards all come with similar perks for the most part. I think the ubiquitous perk that all of them come with is a free check bag for you and a number of guests. So when doing the math, these perks might be just enough for you to justify that annual fee and end up applying for the card. So with that, let us consider two of these mid-tier cards that you might be interested in as we speak. I mean, I hope you're interested in them. You clicked on this video, unless you just want to see this face. In that case, I appreciate you coming by, and the support is always appreciated. But yeah, let's start off with Delta. Delta is one of the top airline programs in America. It is based out of Atlanta, Georgia. It has a series of cards, all with American Express, and its mid-tier card would be the Delta Gold. Alternatively, we have the JetBlue program. So JetBlue has 3 cards, and its mid-tier card would be the JetBlue Plus. I put mid-tier in quotes mainly because there isn't a higher level or a higher annual fee JetBlue card. Take it as you will. But I have owned both of these cards and I've gotten pretty decent value out of each. So now that I've given you a general introduction into what today's video would be about, let us unveil the specific values coming from each card. First up, we have the JetBlue Plus. So the sign-up bonus for this card usually ranges between 40,000 to 80,000 True Blue points after spending $1,000 within the first 90 days and paying the $99 annual fee. I do not know why they have this $99 annual fee stipulation, but they don't pay me to do that. But yeah, suffice to say, the annual fee is not waived the first year, which could be key for you. This takes us over to the multipliers. So in terms of use, multipliers can be the make or break for any card. So in the case of this card, it has 6x on JetBlue purchases and 2x on restaurants and eligible grocery stores. So when taking that into consideration, the main usable multiplier in this case would be the 6x you get on JetBlue purchases. And on a side note, this comes with 3x when you book a flight through JetBlue.com, and on top of that, you get 3x from just being a True Blue member. And True Blue is basically just JetBlue's loyalty program. So when you combine it all together, every time you take a JetBlue flight, you are getting 12x. So the other multipliers are not really competitive, if you ask me, unless you really want those JetBlue points. Another source of value you might get is from the perks. So before applying, I usually ask myself, are the perks going to give me any extra value that I might be considering when getting this card to help offset an annual fee, if you will. So in terms of perks, the main perk we're going to get from this card, like many airline cards, is a free check bag. In this case, for you and up to 3 companions. You also get 10 points back after you book an award flight and 50% off in-flight purchases. This last perk isn't really that much, but hey, sometimes you want to get a snack or a beverage, and 50% off in flight is pretty nice. Finally, you get $100 credit after purchasing a JetBlue vacations package when you use the card. That's not really that good, but hey, sometimes you want to use that and the credit is there. But that pretty much sums up the multipliers and perks for the JetBlue card. So we're gonna move on to Delta. So with Delta, you have the Delta Gold card from American Express. So a little overview of them. Delta is a member of SkyTeam and the preferred airline of many people. They have the Delta Sky Club, which is an airport lounge network, and they have a partnership with many different airlines like Virgin Atlantic, Air France, and KLM. So getting the co-branded card might be a no-brainer for many people. So with that, let us take a look at the Delta Gold. So the sign-up bonus for this card ranges anywhere from 40 to 75,000 Sky Miles, and that is basically the currency for Delta's loyalty program. You'll be able to get this bonus after spending $2,000 within 3 to 6 months. That's depending on the type of bonus. And a great thing about this card is that the $99 annual fee is usually waived within the first year. This allows you to get kind of a free trial when you use the card. In terms of multipliers, I've said this before on many other videos, they are lackluster in my opinion. You get 2x on groceries, 2x on restaurants, and 2x on purchases with Delta. It is pretty well known that the Delta co-branded cards are pretty stingy when it comes to their multipliers. The 2x you get on Delta purchases though could be combined with the 5x for booking a main cabin or higher flight, making it a total of 7x. So this can work for you if you have a Sky Miles account, and it can change depending on the status you have with Delta. So a higher medallion status means more multipliers. In terms of perk, this card actually has a new perk called Take Off 15, which is similar to JetBlue's Take Off, basically 10%, but you take off 15% of an award flight. But unlike JetBlue, this card accounts for when the flight is booked, not when you take the flight. Delta also has a check bag perk that is pretty nice if you ask me. It's a free check bag for you and up to eight companions. This can be a pretty big deal if you have a large family or have a big party. And finally, you get 20% off in-flight purchases with a $100 credit after spending $10,000 within a calendar year. So all in all, Delta is a pretty solid program when it comes to the perks with the multipliers. But you know, that is just my opinion. You might have your own, so everybody for themselves. Let me cut in here to ask, if you liked the video, please show the like button some love. Don't hit it, just click it. Thank you for helping out the channel. Much appreciated. Now let's get back to the video. So now that we got that very boring, dry overview out of the way, let us get to our head-to-head matchup. Over here in the red corner, standing at 2 inches of gold colored plastic, we have the Delta Gold card from American Express. And over here in the blue corner, standing at 2 inches of new sleek blue design, we have the JetBlue Plus card. Let us start by discussing the matchup in the first year. This is mainly because of the bonus, so we're going to have the first year and then we're going to talk about every year after that. So for the sake of this video, I will be using the elevated bonus offers because I suggest you apply when there's elevated bonus offers. Don't go for the base bonus. I usually see for JetBlue about 60 to 80K. So in this case, we're going to go with the 80K option. And for the Delta Gold, the welcome offer also varies, but I've seen elevated offers usually between 65 and 70K for the personal card. So for this video, I will be using the 70K welcome bonus offer. For further reference, these are actually the welcome offers that I got from both these cards when I applied for them. So starting off, both cards come with a checked bag for you and guests. On JetBlue side it's 3, on Delta side it is 8, so it can definitely help you out if you're looking for a checked bag. Though myself, I mainly do a carry-on. Hashtag carry-on gang. Also, they come with no foreign transaction fee, which is great and honestly should be standard on any airline or travel card. And a bit of contrast between the two is the in-flight purchases. JetBlue comes with 50% off in-flight purchases, while Delta has 20% off. Now, I am not one to pay for food on a flight, but I do understand there are times when your stomach gets a little hungry, starts grumbling a little bit, and you're on a 6 to 8 hour flight. So that can be a useful perk for somebody. Delta has their Take Off 15 program, which automatically reduces the award flight by 15%. JetBlue has a similar program, however, it's only 10% off, and you only get that when you take the flight, which is a huge downer if you're asking me. So let us try to paint a picture. Let's try to paint a picture of ways to quantify the value that you might be getting. One way you could think of this is the return on spend, or the ROS. You could think of this as a return on investment, basically the amount of money you derive from using these cards. It can be in the form of cash back, or it can be in the form of points and miles that are usually converted to a cents per point metric. So let us start with a little example. Let us say that you are exclusively flying with only one of these airlines, and try to figure out how much value or return on spend you might get back. So starting off with Delta, let's say we only use this card when we spend on flights and to reach the welcome bonus. For this, we spend $2,000. Unless you are a frequent flyer and you like spending that amount of money on flights, I personally think that $2,000 is a bit much. So let's just say it's about $1,000 on average for 2 people. And that could be about 1 to 2 flights, however you want to put it. So the other 2X categories are restaurants and groceries. So let's say we put the remaining $1,000 in spend to maximize those points. This all will be multiplied by 1.62 cents per point when taking into account the valuation of 1.41 cents point from the Point Sky and the Takeoff 15 perk. That's basically 1.41 times 1.15, which is 1.62. We also want to bring a luggage for 2 people, which is $35 per person, per way. So that's a total of $140 round trip. We now divide that by the $2,000 we spent, and we get 71% return on spend. That's not bad for the first year if you ask me. But let's move on to JetBlue and we'll see what they can do. Okay, so let's say you spend $1,000 on the flight, and you also spend another $1,000 because we want to match the minimum spend you did for Delta to put it on even ground. At the end of the year, how much would you get back with the JetBlue card? Well, we hit the minimum spend of $1,000, so we already got that off the jump. We have to spend another $901 on restaurants or grocery stores, plus the $99 in the annual fee to hit that $2,000 mark. We also have checked bags, which again is $140. So with all of that, we get the welcome bonus plus all the other stuff we get on travel. We multiply that by 1.43, which again is the cents per point of 1.30 from the Point Sky, and the 10% back we get on award flights if we choose to use that. With this, we're looking at a valuation of, a return on spend of 70%. This is 1% less than the Delta, but they're pretty much on even ground. But I want to use a different example here. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that we only spend the $1,000 to reach the welcome bonus. Okay? So what will be our return on spend in that scenario? So given the scenario, we are looking at 137% return on spend, which is really nice if you ask me, because I really don't think is worth putting more money on those other 2x multipliers, like restaurants, for example. So when thinking about the potential return that you might get, it is important to take into account cents per point, as well as how much money you plan on spending on the card. But with year one done and the welcome bonuses used on the lay flat seats because you just had to try that instead of using your multipliers on multiple economy flights, I I'm not hating. I am not hating. Let's move on to year number 2. But before we do that, if you made it this far into the video and still have not shown the like button some love, please do. Don't hit it, just click it. Much appreciated. Now let's move on to year 2 and beyond. So moving on past year 1, what do we get? Let's say we only use these cards for flights and we spend the same amount of money we did for the first year. In this case, that is $1,000 plus the $99 annual fee. We now take into account that we don't have the welcome bonus, but JetBlue is actually still giving us 5,000 points as an anniversary bonus, which I did not include earlier for some reason.
Nope, stop talking, go to jail.
But in this case, the JetBlue Plus card is giving you a return of 27% return on spend, while the Delta card is giving you roughly 16% return on spend. Now, like I said before, let's say we are team carry on gang. What would happen then? Well, in this scenario, we are getting back 14% return on spend from the JetBlue Plus card and only 3% return on spend from the Delta Gold card. So a good argument can be said that a lot of value is lost if you are not using these cards for checked bags. This is key because for a lot of these mid-tier cards, the checked bag perk is pretty central to the reason for having them in the first place. So with all of that said, who are these 2 cards for? Well, let's be honest. Delta is a member of SkyTeam and it has many transfer partners. When I say transfer partners, I mean that you can fly on different airlines, not you can transfer your points. So don't hurt me in the comments.
Nope, stop talking, go to jail.
Oh.
JetBlue, on the other hand, while it has partners like American and some other One World partners, it is not an official member of One World. So Delta might be a better option in this case, as Delta also has many hubs across the country, including LAX, NYC, and like I said before, ATL. While JetBlue is primarily based out of New York City. So what does all of this mean? Well, if you prefer to fly Delta products in a Delta hub and can use the number of free checked bags, basically, for example, you have a big family or a big group, I would say go with the Delta Gold. It is a great product for you. However, if you prefer flying JetBlue, you like that the points can offset the annual fee and like to gain the access to American Airlines and basically gain some JetBlue points on the side, then JetBlue might be the card for you. At the end of the day, I don't think you can go wrong with either of these cards. But if you have not been able to tell already, I'm actually pretty partial to the JetBlue card, at least for the time being. If you want to know why I do not have the Delta Gold card anymore, you can find that in the video right here. Thank you all for watching, fam. I sincerely appreciate it. And until next time, guys, peace.